PJs and pencil cases have delivered for Solly Lou's Premier Investments. Profits for the 6 months to January were up 12% to $52 million, largely thanks to performance of the Peter Alexander and Smiggles brands, which offset lacklustre sales elsewhere. The group, which also includes JJ, Just Jeans and Portman's, is in the middle of a major restructure driven by former David Jones boss Mark McInnes. And David Jones has appointed Macquarie Capital to advise on any merger talks with Myer. Last week, DJ's tasked management consultants Port Jackson Partners to assess the deal, but insisted it was sticking with its own turnaround strategy as the better option. And now I'm joined in the studio by fund manager Roger Montgomery. Roger, welcome.
Thank you, Ticky.
Well, let's talk retail. Premier Investments, gosh, they were up 11% today. Mark McInnes seems to know what he's doing there.
Well, it certainly seems like it. What they've got is a compelling customer promise or proposition, and without that you're dead in retail, quite frankly. I mean, you think about how much cheaper it is to buy many products online. If you want people to go into your store, you have to be selling something that they want, either for convenience or because they can't get it anywhere else, and that seems to be the case here.
We've got now this DJ's Myer merger sort of back on the cards with the appointment of another advisor. We've got this online fear, that we've got the foreign barrage fear, but how much of this paranoia about being just sitting there as bricks and mortar is justified?
Look, I think it's very real. The reality is, for Myer and DJ's, my personal view is they're just kicking the can of extinction down the road. They don't really have a compelling offer, and that's what they need to do. In order to succeed in retailing, you need to do a number of things right. You need to get your supply chain right, you need to get your people motivated, all those things, and your infrastructure in place. But more important than anything, you have to have a reason for people to come into the shop and buy.
But what you're saying is that the online threat is not really, that's just a means to an end. That's not the fundamental problem here.
No, well, I think it's part of the issue. I think it's accelerating the extinction or the evolution of retailing. So in the United States, Sears are closing down 300 stores. You've got Radio Shack closing 500 stores. The online threat is very real. Retailing, bricks and mortar retailing, will be smaller in the future. There's no doubt about that. And those who succeed will be those who can actually merge or fuse the online experience with their offline experience or their bricks and mortar stores. Apple does it very, very well. But you've got this thing called showrooming, which is this idea where people go in, try a product in the store and go and buy it online. So some of the stores in the United States, what they're doing now is they're promising to match any online price, and they're finding that a large number of people are still buying in the store because they still want that experience. Predictions of the end of retailing, though, will be as accurate as the prediction of the end of cinema when video was invented. They won't die, but they'll have to evolve, and it's very, very important that they switch from that showrooming risk, they turn that into what's called web rooming, where you walk into a store and use technology. People are dependent on their iPhones and so on, and they'll use their iPhones to find great deals within the store, and that'll become their concierge in the store.
So almost what you're saying is they've got to manage this digital challenge in order to remain the successful remaining bricks and mortar outfit.
Exactly. Compelling propositions will remain and they'll be able to grow and expand their footprint. But those that aren't compelling will have to do something dramatic in order to stave off extinction. There's no doubt about that at all.
What other steps should they be taking?
Well, the most important one, I think, is what we just talked about, which was this compelling proposition. You've got to have something. It's also important that social media is engaged. So this is the people aspect, the social aspect and the digital aspect, engaging with that. We're seeing stores emerge from nowhere that had no brand. The Iconic is an example, where they were selling more online, and I was told by one of the bankers that they were selling more online than DJ's and Myer combined, and they had no brand.
And suppliers, because that's what Solomon Lew has always been very famous for.
Suppliers, getting the supply chain right is important. But here's the important thing. I think there needs to be pushback. Retailers need to start saying, you know what, when we're stocking this stuff in our stores, there's a benefit to you because you're selling to online retailers as well, and we want to get some sort of benefit or some sort of cost reduction as a result. So bringing down the cost of goods sold is going to be vital, and there just won't be, for many retailers, there simply won't be as many stores. And what it also means for investors is those who've been investing in, for example, REITs, that are commercial REITs.
These are real estate investment trusts.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's very, very important that they realise that the old way of doing things is going to change, the turnover is going to drop, and so will the revenue.
Roger Montgomery, always great to get your views. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, Ticky.